Okay, here it is, Motorola Moto G UK unboxing. So here's the box, we open it up. Inside is the phone. Nice little phone. And inside of the flap we have one USB cable and a couple of bits of paper. That's the box empty, nothing else in there. And there is a get started guide, how to remove the back of the phone, and that's it. This is a cheap phone and you would expect not to have a charger with it. A lot of people have complained about that online, not having a charger, but actually most of us have already got a USB charger anyway. You can buy them on Amazon for a £5, so I don't understand what the fuss is about. It's cutting down on waste as well, not supplying yet another charger. Right, I'm going to peel the cover off and boot the phone for the first time. Okay, we have a power button on the side here and a volume rocker there, and those are the only buttons on the outside of the phone. Okay. "18 seconds to boot." The battery is half charged when the phone is received. I'm going to log in now and we'll see what it's like from there. Okay, now you can see I've got the back of the phone and there's the SIM card slot. I've only purchased the 8 gig version because this phone does come with a large amount of free Google Drive storage. And another thing is that I'm going to do something to this phone which wouldn't merit spending the extra money on the 16 gig version. You'll see that in another destruction test. So keep watching my videos and you'll see what happens to this phone and whether it survives the things that I throw at it. Okay, so straight away I've signed in. Very quickly the phone comes up with all the options about location, etc. Asks me if I want to use my Google account to back up and restore my apps. Now it's contacting Google and downloading all of the apps. I don't want to do a migrate really. And we're on the home screen. So that's the boot and setup. I'm going to pop a SIM card in now because I want to see how fast the phone boots with the SIM, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm going to power the phone off. Seems very quick and snappy. The response to the phone is very good. That's very quick. Okay, let's put the micro SIM in. Here we go. Got a nice E4G micro SIM. So I seem to be wasting some of that functionality here, but never mind, this is never going to be my main phone. Boot again. A very fast boot time. Very rapid boot. Okay, put the back on. It's nicely made, it's got a good quality feel to it. I've got 7 new messages. Okay. It's working straight away. My Google messages have come through very, very quickly here. You can see how clear the screen, crisp the screen is on this, although we are getting some interference patterns. It's very, very clear actually, a very good screen. Nice and bright, good colours. I'm going to take some sample photos in a minute and we'll see what it's like in bright light and in dim light. Okay, I'm just going to show you how much storage the phone has when you buy it, because some people might be worried that 8 gig wasn't enough. So let's go to settings and storage. So you've got 5.5 gig of storage when the phone comes new. 4.59 gig available, it says. I don't know whether it's downloaded any of my Google apps yet. Let's go to the home screen and have a look. No, it hasn't. So this is the bare phone as it comes, and you have 5 gig of storage left, which isn't an enormous amount. But if you remember, most people are now using streaming music like Google Play Music or Spotify, and so you really don't need quite so much storage on a phone maybe as you used to, unless you're taking an awful lot of photos. And you want to keep them and some videos on the phone. This phone I've had plugged in for about 2 hours. I plugged it in about 12 o'clock, and as you can see, it now says it's just gone 2, and it was about 50% battery, just a bit below when we first got it. And you can see on the screen there it says it's 97% full. So the battery charges pretty fast. I have to admit this is it is a decent charger I've got on it. It's a 1.5 amp charger. But it's charged the phone from 50% to full in about, well, just under 2 hours, which is pretty impressive. And this is supposed to have a full day battery life, this phone, and we'll see more about that later. The phone was purchased from Phones For You in Currys, simply because they were the only people who had one in stock. I checked all of the main shops like Vodafone, EE3, none of them had any Moto Gs in stock. Amazon were going to take 3 or 4 days to deliver it. Apparently it's in so much demand they can't get enough stock. Now, many people talk about Motorola phones in terms of the build quality, and I have to say, considering especially that this phone costs £135, it is a very, very nicely made piece of kit. It has a nice sized screen, 4.5 inches. I'm not going to go through all the technical details because I'm sure you'll have seen them on other reviews, but it's made well. It's got a very solid plastic back, very thick plastic, and it's got a nice grippy feel to it as well. It's not shiny, smooth plastic like, say, for example, the Galaxy Note 2, which I've been using. I have a Note 2 here, and whilst the Note 2 has a much bigger screen, it's still of the same resolution. Please excuse the custom ROM I'm running on here. It has the same resolution screen, so the PPI on the Motorola is much, much higher. It has a higher resolution pixels per inch. The overall build quality of the Motorola seems to be much better. The Motorola phone, for example, the back doesn't seem to want to come off so easily, and when you do take it off, it's much thicker. It feels more solid. The back on the Samsung is very flimsy, very thin, flimsy, bendy back. The back on the Motorola is much harder to remove. Obviously, you're not going to need to remove it very often because there's no removable battery and there's no removable memory, but it's more solid and it feels better made. And of course the phone has Gorilla 3 glass on it, which we'll be testing properly later on. Right, I'm not going to play any music because that would get my video pulled off YouTube faster than you can say copyright infringement. What I'm going to do is turn the phone over, both of them, and give you the maximum volume on Android's volume control beep. So this is the Motorola, ready? And the phones are exactly the same distance from the camera. And this is the Samsung, which I think is a little bit louder. But you're not paying for a premium device, remember. The Samsung was £500 when it came out, and the Motorola is about a quarter of that. Many people have also commented on the camera for this phone being fixed focus. Now, I don't really know what they mean, because if you open the camera app, the camera is very clearly autofocus, as you see there. It's focused immediately on the, very closely on the weave of this tablecloth. And if you move the camera, you can see it refocus. So it's not a fixed focus camera at all. It simply focuses on whatever it sees, and then you tap to take the photo. And you can clearly see it's got an autofocus facility in it. Very clearly, it refocuses on the subject, and then you simply tap to take the photo, like that. It's not a fixed focus camera like other reviewers have said. However, this does give you a lot of options. Here's the options list for the camera in Motorola's own controls for the camera. There's an HDR camera, auto flash, flash on, flash off. In fact, let's go through HDR auto on off, flash auto on off. This button here gives you focus and exposure control. So you can press your finger wherever you want on the screen and the camera will automatically focus and adjust the exposure for that area. Slow motion video camera, on off, and panorama on off. So it's got quite a lot of features actually as a camera. I'm quite pleased with the camera on this. I'm going to show you some high resolution images, high as possible on the video, so you can see what the camera colour and white balance looks like. And I'm going to shoot some video for you as well. What you got?